I need to clean out my work area. Whoop, whoop. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing in the weather? Right now, it is a nice 58 degrees. I'm loving the fall weather coming in. Good morning. Okay, so Kendall is doing fine. He came home yesterday. No, I'm sorry, the days are merging. He came home Friday at 5, and then my dad went into the hospital at like 9 p.m. on Friday. He has like a fluid retention in his belly. Good morning. He has fluid retention in his belly and fluid around. He has fluid in his right lung and fluid around his heart, and his legs are swollen. He hasn't really been able to eat. So my dad went to what was took to the ER about a month ago because he was having difficult to breathe. They did a CT scan and they realized that he had bad pneumonia, and they hospitalized him for a few days until the worst can be done. Worst can be over with. Um, but they also seen a small like a mass or on his pancreas, but they said that sometimes that can happen. A little backstory about my dad. My dad was an alcoholic and he used to smoke cigarettes. He's been 47 days clean, which actually is the longest he's ever done because normally he'll take a week off and go back to drinking. So he's 47 days clean, and so they thought he was going through withdrawals from alcohol the last time he was there, and he wasn't. He had pneumonia. So this time when they took him into the ER, he was sent by ambulance, and when they did a CT scan, they seen his right lung is full with liquid. He's fluid in his heart. His stomach is descended, it's full of liquid, and the mass has grown 3 times as big um, from 3 to 4 weeks ago. He's at John Hopkins, which is world renowned. The issue is that the doctor told me this, the people that make the big money, that can do an endoscopy or do get a biopsy through needles through an X-ray, don't work on the weekends unless it's a dire situation. So they have he's being observed, watching his fluid intake and whatnot, and making sure he is okay. And the gastro people and the people that do the biopsies will be in tomorrow. So after I get off this live, I'm gonna go to my dad and spend a little bit of time with him, and hopefully they can I can hear more stuff. Yesterday before I left, he was having an echocardiogram, and the people were having a very hard time finding his heart. Again, fun fact about me, my mom and my dad like kind of worked in the hospitals, and my dad did EKGs and he would do ultrasound. So he was actually like instructing them how to do it when someone has fluid, like having them lay on their side with their head above their arm. And it was hilarious because as soon as he did what they did, he was able to hear his heart, and he was like, "Oh, that's the right valve." And they were just looking at him, and I was trying to explain that he does have like a good medical background. My dad is an engineer, but while he was paying for school and whatnot, he worked in the hospital. Um, so yeah, I'm worried about the mass, because the fact that it grew is that big within a small time frame, it could mean cancer. And pancreas cancer is bad cancer because by the time they recognize a tumor, um, it's already too late. That means it's spread it to other things. And he has the symptoms of having pancreas cancer, the retention of fluid. Um, how like have he was an AFib yesterday. All these are pointing to cancer. So I'm literally praying to God that it's not and it's just a mass and they can remove it. But in my heart, I feel like it might be cancer. So I've been trying to cope with that. The I have two other siblings that are out here, but they both work around the clock. So it's like I wish I had a clone. If any of you guys know how to make a clone of myself, I would really appreciate it because I'm trying to take care of Kindle, and when I can't take care of Kindle, because he had issues coming out of anesthesia, and he's having issues with fully expanding his lungs because my husband has asthma. So I leave him in the care of Faith, which Faith is funny. She's a helicopter mom and she doesn't even know it. Um, so she's like making sure he doesn't have a temperature. We're making sure he's drinking tons of fluid. He's on top of his. I'm telling you guys, you're it. Look at the sawgrass is doing its maintenance thing he does every day. Um, yeah, so she takes when I'm with my dad sitting, Faith takes care of him, and when Faith has to go to work, I'll take her to work, and then I can take care of Kendall. But Kendall's moving around. He says he feels so much better. They his surgery, the doctor said he had the worst gallbladder that he's ever seen. I got to see pictures of it, and holy crap, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible, and they were saying a lot of the symptoms Kendall's been experiencing the last few years, like having really bad chronic back pain or feeling like he had acid reflux all the time, that was his gallbladder. So I'm dealing with these 2 things and then having to tell my mom and my sister who are in California what's going on with my dad. I swear the minute I got off the plane from SME, I've been on the ground running with all of this. And so I've been not taking my medicine correctly. Uh, yeah. So yeah. I want to say everyone that has reached out, phone calls, messages, um, buying me coffees and all that stuff. I want to tell you guys thank you because I don't think I would have done good this past weekend and week if it wasn't for you guys because it's been a very hard week. I haven't sewed, which is understandable. I haven't had sewed anything. So everyone that's been reaching out, all the prayers, there was a couple of you guys that reached out and were like, I'm gonna get DoorDash to your house or I'm gonna buy you a coffee. I had people sending me private messages trying to call me, whatever, all that. Um, I don't even have words. I'm trying not to cry. I'm not a crier. That's why my eyes are getting glossy. I want to say thank you because none of you guys had to do that. No one has to pray. No one has to do anything, and you guys are all like being a really good community for me. And I love looking through your messages when I have downtime and whatever. Whew, it's just been a week. Like they say, when it rains, it pours. So I really am not going to find out more information about my dad until Monday because that's when all the people are going to be in there. So I'm just trying to spend anywhere from an hour to 3 hours a day and then come back and handle business and then spend a little bit of more time because unfortunately even though John Hopkins is world renowned, you guys are just slowly creeping down. Even though John Hopkins is world renowned, like I said, the people that do the biopsies and stuff don't work on weekends. So that's what they're worried about the most. My dad is not eating at all. He's lost my dad. It's weird because you know how you have a kind of like a superhero complex with your parents. My dad, ever since I can remember, has always been not fat, but kind of thick and chubby. And even though he's 5'8", he was like Superman to me because he was that person that would go to work sick. He was that person that will just like do anything and everything for his kids. So when he moved out here 13 years ago, he looked drastically different. He lost a great of weight and it scared the living crap out of me because my dad's always been a little bit pudgy, not fat, but pudgy, beer belly, you know, and then he looks like kind of really skinny. When I seen him yesterday and I walked into the room, I didn't know that was my dad. I had to ask the nurse, "Where's John Akala?" And they were like, "You were in that room." He he looked like my abuelita when she was sick. And that picture that I have of her, um, I don't know why people like taking pictures like that, but my uncle gave me that picture, and that is one of my last visual thoughts of my grandmother. I call her Letha for short. And he looked like that, so it kind of freaked me out. I'm really good at putting on a mask, like, when it comes down to my family, not showing that I'm emotional, not showing that I'm stressed. I don't have a poker face, like, so if something drastic happens right in front of me, my body doesn't know how to process to not have that face, but, my dad was asleep, so he didn't get to see the mask drop and go back on. So sat there. His BP is extremely low. When I left, he was 89 over 60. Um, he has all the symptoms of cancer, but on his pancreas, but I'm hoping that it's not. And I'm hoping just like the mass is making him it, but he's severely swollen. They have him on a diuretic trying to get rid of the fluid. Um, yeah. Kendall's moving around. He's actually dropping my daughter off at work right now. It still hurts to cough, so I have him hold a pillow. He has like a pillow right now, like so if he's sitting down watching football or whatever, he can hold it on his stomach. Loki is being a helicopter puppy. He is so worried about Kendall, like he follows him around like a shadow, and he's being so gentle because bigger dogs are a little bit clumsy. And you know that you see Loki when he comes after me. He's been really gentle with Kendall. It's quite interesting. Um, but yeah, I haven't sewed. Which I know I keep saying because I know it's normal not to sew during situations like this, but I am not kidding you guys. Sewing is usually my therapy because it's the time that I can just be completely quiet, be within my own thoughts, and just create something. I don't know. It makes me feel good. It's a weird feeling. I know most of you guys probably feel the same. Sewing makes me literally happy. Even if I mess up a project, it makes me happy. Um, so I might sew a little bit today because Kendall's saying that you need to go in your room and just do something, make a pouch, something. That must be Kendall coming home from dropping off Faith. Yeah. I need to stay on top of my medicine, to be honest with you, but it's really hard because I'm one of these people that I could fight medication, but I will not take medication and get behind the wheel. If I ever harmed anybody or an animal or a person because took the medication, I got behind the wheel, I would never forgive myself. So if I like, I don't know. I've been under medicated, and the migraines are real. I continue to get migraines with the medication, but I now know that the migraines are not as frequent with the medication. Weirdly, I guess that is good to know. That diet that staying on it helps reduce it. So, and there's like our weather in Maryland right now looks like Freddy Krueger and Jason are out to get you for like the past 4 days. It's just been really unbelievably overcast, cloudy, and dark clouds, but no real rain. Just like a little bit of rain. It just looks like Jason is trying to kill you. Let's see. Thank you guys all for the good wishes, and I hope good morning to everywhere. I really appreciate everybody. Yeah, definitely, it does help get your mind off stuff. Um, I'm gonna probably show something in red because I have Kasaya's lipstick red in my on my thing. That I don't know if you guys seen this red, but it's like the prettiest red I've ever seen. I know. Look at this red. It is like the most prettiest red I've ever seen. So like I've been every chance I've had last week trying to sew with this. I did. I've never seen a red this color. It makes me want to try other colors. Kendall, is that you? Okay. Okay. All right. Do you want to say hi? Because there's so many people that have been praying with you. He's moving slowly, but he did come downstairs, and Loki's right behind him, his personal shadow. Yeah, that's not going to prevent him from coming in. It's like, I was telling them how much I'm grateful I am. People buying me coffee, people like reaching out and whatever. But here, let me take my seat. Hold
Good morning.
on.
Glad to be amongst the land of the living. Last week was a big shock to the system, and I'm just glad to be home with my babies because it was tough. It happened fast, really fast, unexpected, and you never know how healthy you are until you find out that you're not healthy at all. But thank you all for your prayers, your thoughts. They were felt. Believe me, it was tough. It was tough, and if it wasn't for my family, my friends, and all these prayers from all over the place, could have been a different story. So love you guys, and I'm hoping one day soon I can come and hang out with all of y'all because there's a lot of events coming up,
I know.
and
I'm trying
everyone's always asking. So I'm gonna do my best to make it.
Florida 2024. Woo
Tennessee,
woo.
Texas, Chicago, somewhere. So thank you guys. Let her do her thing. I gotta go back to the faith, and you have a beautiful day. Bye.
I got you. All right. Go get Faith. I'll be
I gotta go with her. We just need to be with
okay. All right. I will see you
her.
in.
Not 18 yet.
I know she's still a baby. She'll be 18. She'll be 18 next month. In 32 days, we will have an 18-year-old. My Hope's Faith's birthday is November the 4th, and she'll be 18. She's still a senior in high school, and I have to. She wants me to do her homecoming dress, which is at the end of this month. She's totally forgetting about Novoween. It's like, so yeah, he's feeling better. It still hurts to go up and down, which is normal. I've had the surgery. It's not the best, but I do know the one thing about this surgery that's weird is even if you're sore in your stomach, all the symptoms that you were having before you had the surgery just like goes away. So you feel good about that. Like you're like, wait, I don't have vascular reflex. Wait, my lower back is not hurting. So yeah, so I am planning what I've been doing when I'm in the hospital right now with all of them. I've been writing down ideas for Novoween, so that is still happening. The 13 days of at the end of the month leading up to Halloween. I'm talking to different designers to see if I can sew up their pattern like spooky fun. I am There's going to be a little bit of everything from like different bowl cozies to bags, baskets, everything. We're going to be doing some interesting fun stuff. um yeah, so he's taking Faith, and yeah, she's going to be 18 and she has homecoming. I already told her I was committed to making her prom dress. I have no issues with that. I love making dresses, but I usually um like to sketch things out, get fabric swatches and everything. So it's kind of late for homecoming. I thought I was just gonna go get her a nice. She wants a short dress for homecoming, like a cocktail dress. I thought we were gonna go shopping with that, but no, she's like, I want you to make it, and I get it because she's very very petite. Um, she's very very petite, and so she likes when I make her dresses opposed to buying them because I can get it perfectly for her body. So we shall see the things that we do for our kids, right? um yeah, so I when I am done here, I'm probably gonna go spend a couple hours with my pops, and he'll be asleep the whole time, so I'm just like writing things down for sewing. Um, there might be something special that happens tonight. So if it does come on, I will immediately post it in the YouTube, and that's Sonova. I think you guys would like it. Um, it was filmed prior to all this stuff happening. Thank you, Jenny. So yeah, that's pretty much the day in the life of Shnova right now. Not sewing is making Nova go crazy, just so you guys know. Uh, I, me and Coffee have been best friends. Um, Yeah. There's not enough of me to go around, but well, there's a will, there's a way. So I've been doing it, and then I'm really proud of Faith because she's been on it. Like Kendall had a fever yesterday, and he was trying to wrap himself in a blanket, and she was like straight helicopter mom and ripped the blanket off and putting Tylenol in his face and giving him a glass of water. It was hilarious. He was like, she took my blanket off. I was like, did you have a fever? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, then she did the right thing. So it's it's good, and he's still working on his lungs because they he has asthma. He's always had asthma, so it's hard for his lungs to fully expand. So he has to do all these special breathing tools and whatever, and have a albuterol and nebulizer treatments and all that stuff. So like when I'm not here, Faith is like on top of it, but she's like not a nurturing nurse, which is hilarious because we're getting an idea because that's what she wants to go to school for. She wants to be a nurse. Her bedside manner, she's gonna have to learn because like she instead of saying, Dad, you're not feeling good, let me take this blanket, she just like yoinks. It's all and that was the one thing that had me dying because I'm curious about her bedside manner because she has a very low voice and like a voice that sounds friendly and reassuring. Like honestly, if I had a nurse that was taking care of me, her voice is very, very soothing. But but she's like Nurse Ratchet. She'd be like, he was like, she's like, drink all this water. And she was just standing there until he drank all the and it's like, how like we take Tylenol, we take a couple zips and put the water down. Like she was like, no, it needs to be done. I'm not gonna leave until you're done. And I was like, well, at least he's responding. I think Kendall's a little bit afraid of Faith at this point because she's just very like she's gonna be she has a very strong personality. And like I was like, what? She was like, yeah, he was trying to drink Gatorade and I was telling him he needs to drink a whole glass of water. She's like, Tylenol says water, it doesn't say soda, it doesn't say Gatorade. I was like, okay, well at least I know he can't. And that's like, I'm not gonna lie, out of parents, like Faith's favorite parent is Kendall because Kendall and her have like a special relationship. I'm like really, really strict. I'm a strict parent and I'm kind of like a helicopter mom, but I just didn't expect her bedside manner to be like about face. Like she is like he was like, I'm a little bit afraid. Like she'll be like, is your urine, what color is your urine? And I'm like, what the hell, Faith? Because she takes ARL, she's like checking she's checking his BP, his pulse, everything um like the breathing apparatus, like there are like it goes like 1500, 2000, like it skips every 500, and she's like it needs to be over 2000, and if it doesn't she keeps on making him do the breathing exercise until it hits that. I'm just like, yeah. He's like, don't leave me alone with her for too long, please. So like it's pretty funny. Like and then he has Hope. Hope was like, we have to go outside and walk, you need to put your shoes on. And then like so Hope will take him downstairs, they'll go outside, she'll hold his hand, take him to the park, make him walk back, take him to the park and make him walk back. So Hope and Faith have this same mentality, like it's like no nonsense, like you do what I say or else there'll be consequences. And it's hilarious because I didn't think either one of them, I thought they would kind of just buckle like, oh my god, Dad, let me put pillows behind your back and your feet. No, they're like, no, you need to get better. So it's just funny because that's how I nurse. I am like the person you do not want around you because you're gonna do everything possible to make you feel better. But their personality, he was like, she was just watching me with like full on contact with eyes until the water was done. I was and, like, the thing is she didn't give him a mug like these we have mason jars like this that are just this is iced coffee. She didn't give him, like, this like, simple 12-ounce. We have bigger mason jars that, are, like, 2 pints, and she filled it with ice and water and just was watching him. I was like, "Faith, that's a lot of water." So, it's been very interesting watching her become a nurse. I think it's really cute. Ken, I'm a little bit more concerned about because he kind of is like avoiding everything and just staying in his room. And I think he might just be scared and he just hasn't talked about it yet. So I'm just letting him be and let him come to me. But he had me laughing yesterday because He was taking all his dad's clothes and he started washing them. And I'm like, what the hell? So it takes your dad going in the hospital for you guys to do things without me saying, go do the laundry, go take out the trash. So it's been interesting. And Loki's been a helicopter pup. Like he's normally jumping all over Kendall. He's just like laying at his feet. He's trying to cuddle with him. It's super cute. Like it's not Loki because Loki's high energy. And same with Roxy. They're just like laying on hit by his side of the bed. If he coughs or anything, Loki's head is on his stomach. Like he'll get up, put his head on his stomach, and it's it's very interesting how the family acts coming back because like Hope and Faith have like a no there's no nonsense attitude. Like it's I'm just like Faith's bedside manner is gonna be hilarious as a nurse. She'll be like, "Oh, take you here's your Tylenol. Finish your water." You're just gonna okay. And she wants to work actually in the needle unit though. And I'm like, you gotta be a little bit nicer because these babies are coming out early and they're in incubation tubes and parents are freaking out. And she's like, yeah, that's why I want to work with them. I'm like, okay. Hopefully her bedside manner changes before she gets into that specialty. She has a while before it, but that's the specialty she wants to work for the neonatal unit or in the psych ward, like when people are put on the Baker's Act or the 5150. She thought she'll be good for that. Actually, I'd rather her work on the neonatal unit knowing that there's more loss, unfortunately, with it than the mental one. I feel like I have a couple of cousins and family members that are like RNs and physical physician's assistants and whatnot, and they work in the mental ward, and it plays a lot on their psyche. Those doctors and nurses experience like the worst that a human can do at all times. So I understand like the neonatal unit might be a little bit more difficult because there's going to be loss, unfortunately, but less loss because we have more and more scientific breakthroughs going through. But yeah, that's what she wants to do. She wants to work in the neonatal unit. I'm like, you might need to change your bedside manner, my friend. Like, because you're gonna be calling me like, why am I in trouble with the the head nurses because you can't be like breastfeed your baby right now or pump. So I need the breast milk. I'm like, you need to calm down. You're very assertive. But it might be what you need too, because sometimes the nurses that do tough loves are the ones that help you get out of the hospital faster, you know? I don't know, but she is like she is she's intense. I like he was telling me because she was asleep last night and we were just sitting up and talking and he was like it was full on you know how you have to like look at a dog when they stare at you and you can't look away or shows that you're more submissive. That's basically what he said the interaction with Faith was. He was like, I was drinking the water and staring at and I'm like, she's just trying to make you feel better. And then Hope is the walker. Hope is like, yeah, mom told me the doctor says you need to walk. Let's go outside. Let's walk to the park. You can hold my hand. I'll bring my cell phone in case you pass out. I'm like, why would you tell him that? Like, so it's pretty funny because I guess they don't have a filter. Yeah, and I'm worried about Ken Kid, so I'm gonna actually probably come back from my dad's and like take him to there's a candy shop in the mall and let him just walk around with me. So maybe when Ken walks around with me, he usually like word vomits and tells me everything he's feeling. But yeah, that's pretty much the day in life since Tuesday. And I'm so tired because normally when I come back from like SME or any events, I usually take a day or two just like to rest and recover. And I haven't had that. So deprivation is real for me right now. And it's crazy. It's just crazy, and oh my god, the most Kendall's medications, the pharmacy sent over, like, 10 medications. I paid $99 in prescriptions yesterday. Not that I don't have the money, I've never paid that much at CVS for prescriptions before. I'm because he like I said, because his lungs are not fully expanding, he has to get like a Buterol, special machine for him to do nebulizer treatments and the whole 9 yards. I've never paid that much. That's a stuff load of money, like, on prescriptions. I kept looking at it because I was like, "What are you talking about?" One of the nebulizer treatments alone were $40. The rest of the stuff were like $5, $10, but it was a nebulizer. I was like, okay. And our CVS was overfilled, so I actually had to wait for an hour and a half for them to get his prescriptions. So yeah, there's that. There's that. So, yep, that's all I've been basically doing. Yes, you're 100% right. Loki is, like, not laying on the bed, but the funny, because Great Danes are big, so he'll lay on the ground on Kendall's side of the bed, but every time Kendall coughs, he puts his head where Kendall's putting the pillow to, like, help, like, he's so nurturing right now. Like, Loki's a good puppy as it is, I mean, except when he ripped apart the water bottles. I'm not over that, so I'm sorry. He's like, but he every time Kendall coughs, like, he puts his head on his stomach, like he knows that's gonna help him or something. It's very interesting. He's usually, like I said, he's usually really high hyper, and I realized I need to go take him. I didn't take him for a walk yesterday, and he was acting. Loki goes crazy if he doesn't have a walk. Like, he needs to burn his little puppy energy. So, but he did pretty good. Oh my god, Julie, that's so cool. Yeah, like, Faith really wants to work with, like, in a NICU. I didn't think that was gonna be a thing, like, for her, like, but that's what she's gonna go to school for. Yeah. Kindle, it does take a team effort because this is the guy that hates drinking water. This is my sweet tea loving Gatorade man. And so the girls are like no nonsense with water right now. They're very like intense. And then when he does his breathing treatment to breathe out to see how much his lungs are expelling, they're like, you could do better than that. You need to take a deep breath. Like, I'm gonna go take a shower, hoping Faith got you. And he's looking at me like, please don't let them take care of me. So it's really funny. But he was able to sit down and get back up off of my chair. So that is great strides. He's doing better. And he was watching football yesterday. So if he's into football, screaming, yeah, 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 then he's doing better. So I'm about to hop off because I'm gonna go see the pops and see how he's doing. I should be able to hop on tomorrow. Patreon, if you're on here, I'm gonna put a message underneath it. We should be going live tomorrow because the kids are at school. We have the very last parts of making the hitchhiker, and I'm really excited. And also, we need to just figure out what we're gonna do for October's bag. I'm really excited about that. I'm more excited about seeing people's finished hitchhikers because we did step 1 and step 2, like, people's responses, like, they thought it was more complicated than what it is. I keep telling everyone it's the hitchhiker's pattern pieces. Once you realize what it is, that bag comes together like that. Um, Definitely, I'm laughing. I'm a giggle box. So, I'm just now trying to figure out what's going on with my dad. I am prepared if they do say cancer. It just because the tumor on his pancreas grew 3 times as big as when they first found it, um, 3 or 4 weeks ago is the thing that's jarring. It could just be a benign tumor, but we have to wait until they do a biopsy. And the biopsy does not sound fun. I rather the thing is I think they rather do the biopsy with a needle because they could put him in a twilight versus full anesthesia. And because he has fluid in his lungs and it's difficult to find his heart, because he has so much fluid, I feel like they're afraid to put him under, which makes perfectly good sense. But my dad is just similar to most men. They act like the thing doesn't hurt and then he'll be screaming bloody murder. That needle for a biopsy, they have to do it through um ultrasound and x-rays, and it's not a fun procedure. So they're trying to figure out what to do next. They want to take fluid out of his lungs, but they're afraid it's going to collapse. So he's basically just getting monitored at this point. So I think the hardest part for me is translating everything to my mom and my sister, because it's like you're trying to say it where it's not like, oh my god, get on, I need to take a train and come there right away, in panic mode, but they're basically in panic mode because they're not here. So gotta do what I gotta do. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. Again, I appreciate every one of you for the well wishes and prayers and everything. I don't even know how to begin to repay you for that. That your acts of kindness has literally made my day, my week. So I will talk to you guys all tomorrow, and I hope everyone has a really good Sunday and they're able to sew. So stay safe. Bye.